Welcome back. I'm Jocelyn.
I'm Caden.
And we are best of kin. There's a pigeon watching us. Those pigeons, they really hang around.
The morning doves are coming out again.
Is that a sign of like a new
Good
season?
times. The summer nostalgia.
The morning dove.
I forget how it goes. No, it's like.
Oh, that was so good. I was like, no, it was definitely like, but like that brought me back to
Doves?
7 a.m. like waking up for school or something.
But like waking up that early and not feeling tired. I feel like, you know what I'm saying?
I feel like
in
when
the summer,
hear the morning dove, you're
like. In the summer as a kid, summer break, it's like, it could be 7 a.m. sun's coming up. And for some reason you're like.
But like SpongeBob's on, we're having a good time.
It's because we're not slaving our lives away.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Like today. Not really.
Yeah, no.
Well, you said that you were really burnt out. You've had a busy week at work and like.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the
grind.
The constant social stimulation and going to bed so late.
Well, yeah, that's.
Like, because you're so wired.
Well, that's the thing. Logan literally like got out of bed after we went to bed and like stayed up for another hour and a half. Like,
because it feels.
Then went to bed at like 2 a.m. I'm like.
I think we have similar schedules of like, we know before work we have to get shit done. His is like Sienna shit.
Yeah.
I know I want to try and work out.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe I have laundry to do and it just feels like I'm go. And then it's work the rest of the night and you're go there.
And you're like, I've literally
and
not
then you
had
get
a
home
minute.
and it's like literally like the movies where you're just like, and you sit in your bed. I'm just like, help me. And then you're like, you eat and then you're kind of overeat. And you're like, fuck. And then it's 2 a.m. You start all over again.
Mm-hmm.
But it's getting better. I feel like I'm finding more self-discipline, you know, in small ways.
In small ways. I see a transformation in you. I see a growth.
Yes. What's the difference?
I think it's just like you're open to like not doing things the way you've always done them, or maybe like open to like changing your perspective, particularly maybe like with women.
With the women.
With the girls.
Nice.
With the girls. I did just want to touch, give the people like a Hinge update or like, you know, how are you feeling? How is like your mindset around like meeting someone now that we had like some disappointing days?
I think just to the base of it all, just being open, but like truly open. Like obviously you want to be attracted to them, but then go from there, meet them in person. Or you can kind of, I think calling on the phone helps a lot too, just gauging like how someone talks. And like,
I love that you do that.
If they're if they're already like interactive or not shying, which I get, make me nervous, but phone call's so easy. It's just a voice, like you're not FaceTiming or anything.
Totally.
But
I feel like also you're open to, I mean, I think the key for you is just like figuring out what are your actual deal breakers, like what is actually like non-negotiable. And then the rest is kind of like soft.
those deal breakers can kind of arise
naturally
in person.
Right.
Even on a first date.
Exactly.
And then doing dates that aren't just like a dinner date or like something that you can be interactive with as far as like
and keep it quick. You know, nothing you're tied down for a long time if it's not going well.
We got
quick in and out.
We got some places in line.
Caden's,
shout out Joe.
Shout out to @NewFoodPhoenix.
Yeah.
My
gave me the
bestie
Rex.
Joe. Yeah, I gave Caden some really good date ideas. Caden's open. He's open.
Continued.
And I had mentioned to him, like, I don't even think it was on the pod. Sorry, guys. But I had mentioned, like, I don't even think you, like, date. Like, it's funny because, you can't find anyone. But it's like, wait, when's the last time you actually, like, were dating?
Yeah, hitting on a girl at a bar at 1 a.m. getting her number is not
like hookups or these like, you know, talking to a girl for 3 days. Like those are not the same things as actually putting yourself out there, dating.
Yeah.
Getting better at dating. You're going to practice. You're going to like more and more and more realize what you do and don't want with every single date.
Uh-huh.
I'm excited.
It is part of the process.
It is. And it's a part that you've never really committed to.
Not necessarily.
You've just like, that's so much work.
I find excuses like just like, oh, I'm just gonna get a dog and maybe that'll
right. Maybe that'll help me.
But it's I need to find out more.
Yeah.
Like personably,
like,
not
it can't be like, oh, she's got bangs. I don't like bangs. It's like
Yeah.
Bangs can grow. I had a bad bang.
That's what I was thinking too. Like
10 years ago.
Don't you want to, in certain ways, grow with that person?
Yeah.
And that could be
evolve
physically.
together.
Yeah, you evolve, right? Like, I mean,
you both
and
have
Logan
a glow
had
up.
so much different
dude. If
looks
you could see
and fashion
throughout the years, we have both had interesting phases, and we have both definitely had like super ugly periods, like. When Logan finally like committed to shaving his head and going bald, and then like he did not yet have any facial hair. That
You're Logan?
Sorry about that. Okay, a little technical difficulty. I'm sorry if there are a couple of those.
Yeah, we can just explain. Yeah.
We have a cord with a short. We have a cord with a short. We just discovered it.
Cord.
We have a short cord.
And my laughter, because I always do this, I put my head back when it's a good one.
And did it pull a cord? Yeah. We literally can't move at all. So I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry, Logan. I'm literally making fun of you, and then our like mics go out, and I'm like.
At least we know though. If we can't hear it, that's when it happens.
Well, exactly.
Instead
we don't have to keep like checking it.
Talking the whole time.
Exactly.
We didn't record for an hour.
No, that would be my nightmare. Actually, I would not even re-record. I'd be like, sorry, you're not getting an episode this week. Okay. So yes, Logan and I both had ugly phases, but the thing is,
the no mustache, no head.
The no mustache, no hair. No,
no head.
No head.
So no head.
No head during these notes.
Literally.
No, but we both had really tough phases. Like I had a haircut go wrong. Like literally 2 weeks before a 10-day trip to Nicaragua,
brunette,
I cut so much of my hair. I then did, 2018, I did dark, warm brunette with like a blunt bang. Do you remember that?
That was right before I moved
times.
here.
That was like around the time we moved into the studio. Those were just
oh God.
I think I was like, who am I? Like, identity
And that
crisis.
You were how old?
That's the thing. Like,
were you my age
like
now?
25, 26.
That's nuts. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Yeah, and now it's gross. You better cut your mic out for that.
That was funny.
Anyways, so the thing is, yes, you want to grow with someone. You want to both meet each other where you're at currently, accept the other person for who they are, have a deeper understanding of them to where these things are not affecting your view of them, and then literally grow together and create a beautiful life. But this kind of goes with our topic today, so that's why I'm like...
I mean, even Arturo was saying it because he watched it and he was like, dude, like you missed, like, why not that person? Why not that person? He's like, dude, just give people a chance. And it's like...
Yes.
That helped my thought process.
And it's like, wouldn't you want others to give you the same grace?
Exactly.
Come on. It's like, oh, he's got red face, red
I was being
skin.
very, I don't know. I don't think I was.
Oh, his hair's too frizzy.
I wasn't too intentional, and I was, I guess.
Maybe you were just like having so much fun with the, like.
Yeah, self-critical, selfish, I guess.
Yeah.
And not being inconsiderate of like, obviously I'm not the best profile either, like.
Sure. Whatever. But it's like we've come to a place now where you're like open, and it's just so beautiful. And that's the only way to be.
The range will continue to spread. My openness.
Spread their legs. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry.
Don't be.
Okay, so I actually want to start today with
Yeah, hit me.
Catching up Kaden.
Let me get this going.
Let's get it going. I didn't tell you the order of things.
I know.
I know. You're usually prepared, and I usually do it at the end. But I think if we start with this, it will really segue nicely into today's topic.
I'm being very careful.
I'm so scared about another little audio crash, but we should be fine. I believe.
Jingle. Okay.
Wow, Kaden was really
let me know. Wait, no. Yeah, go ahead.
And this week on Catching Up Kaden.
What's new?
This has been a week of trash media. And I just want to talk about it because I feel like two of probably like maybe the worst movies, some of the worst movies that have ever been made, both came out in the last week. And I feel like we're part of history.
Yeah. The worst ones ever made. That's hard. That's
on the list. If there was a list of like truly the worst movies ever made, these two would be on the list.
So I know Madam Web, but
Madam Web is number one. We could start there.
Okay. Do you know why it was so bad?
Granted, this is a little fucked up. I haven't
seen it. Is this Marvel?
but I've seen enough clips.
Where the fuck does this
Who
come
is
from?
Madame Web? So it kind of came out of nowhere. Who is Madame Web? So it kind of came out of nowhere, in my opinion. I didn't really see a lot of good marketing for it until I just all of a sudden was like, oh, Sydney Sweeney. Okay,
Yeah.
she's in a Spider-Man. Yeah,
Girl Spider-Man.
Girl Spider-Man is like the impression that I had. I'm so confused, like why it was made. Also, Dakota Johnson was definitely told by her team, this is a Marvel movie.
Dakota Johnson was in it?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Listen, she was 100% told that you're going to be in the Marvel, the MC universe.
Yeah.
She took this on. A week before the movie came out, she fired her entire team and got a new agent, got new representation.
Because of how bad it was?
Because they duped her into doing this film. And people have said it is truly, probably not even that much money. Like, definitely not MCU money.
It's
you know
Marvel,
what I mean?
Though. What do you mean?
But it's Marvel adjacent. It's not Marvel. It's not Marvel. It's Marvel adjacent. It's slightly different.
It's not Marvel Studios?
It's not Marvel budget. It's not Marvel Studios. I don't exactly know where it fits in the comic world. It's Marvel adjacent, but it's not the Marvel universe.
They try to get Sydney.
They're not going to put them in the next
and Dakota Johnson.
Like what are they called? Like Endgame, Avenger, like the big Avengers. Like she's not going to be an Avenger.
They're not going to be interconnected.
They're not interconnected. So I just think this is the funniest thing I've ever heard. One critic said, even Dakota Johnson has her limits, and this movie blows so far past them that you can practically guess which scenes were shot last based on the degree to which she's given up. Like,
that's probably so hard to watch.
It's such a hard watch. And the clips that I have seen, the secondhand cringe, make my stomach turn. Make my stomach turn.
Oh, so you saw some clips that gave you that?
Yes, that's the thing. I haven't seen the movie in full, so it's like, yes, I truly cannot give my 2 cents to that extent. But the clips every clip I've seen, I'm like...
But what's crazy though
is
that they're going to make so much money because of how bad it is. People want to see how bad it is.
That's the thing. That's the thing. It's kind of, what if it becomes one of those
like
cult classics?
Yeah, maybe.
Like, it did terribly when it came out, like terrible critics, but like people watch it every year. Like, I don't know.
Do you have an example of a
I've
bad
heard it's
scene?
just really, well, the last line of the movie, I saw like someone, people be bringing their phones in theaters and fully recording it. But I can't remember exactly what it was. I think it was like something to the effect of like the last line of the movie, like the most poignant line. She like looks out the window and she's, also in like an Xavier Professor X like wheelchair vibe. She like spins around slowly with glasses. Johnson? Yeah, with these weird glasses on. She like looks out the window. She's like, you can't change the past. It's already happened. End of movie.
Oh God.
Like it was about like the past, but like terrible line, like just... You guys, this is such a bad movie. And
terrible writing.
Part of me is like, I kind of can't wait to see it. Terrible script. Well, that's the thing. It's not their fault. Honestly, if
but actors read the script, bro.
No, but if the Avengers were like reading the script, but the production wasn't there, the editing was bad, the dubbing was bad. They were dubbing voices that didn't match the lips. That's how like poor quality and bad editing budget. And like no effort put in. No, it was like they literally wanted this movie to do bad. So that they could be like, oh, well, this is why we don't make women movies because look how bad it did. You know what I mean? It's like, it was so weird, like how bad the post-production is.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like if Avengers had bad post-production, we would be like cracking up at how cheesy it is.
Yeah.
It's because of all the things that happen after they film.
Yeah.
Like having done a couple of projects, like movies, a couple commercials,
good acting
like
cast too.
You literally don't know how it's going to turn out. So like in your mind, you're like having this idea of how it's going, what it is, how you're going to be portrayed. And then the thing comes out and it's like, oh, this isn't a good movie.
Tough, though. It's hard to make superhero
content.
movies good.
Yeah.
Or like at least entertaining or wanting to watch.
Or just not cheesy.
Yeah.
Not too campy.
Like I would say Black Widow is decent. That was a female for
I actually don't even think I saw it, but yes,
it was good.
That did well. Well, that was like a bigger budget.
Yeah, she's one of the Avengers. Yeah,
it's just so confusing. Well, the other problem is Dakota Johnson in every single PR clip I'm seeing in every interview for the press of this movie. She's like,
you can't forget the past. When you say it already happened.
Like, yeah, you can't change the past. It's already happened. And then it's like fade to black. Like that was like the
most sorry wisdom quote
just like
ever.
The most like obviously.
Duh, bitch.
Yeah. Okay, whoa.
Sorry.
Okay.
Love you, Dakota.
The other thing, Dakota has been doing press for this. In every interview that I have seen, she has like insulted the movie, insulted her coworkers. Like she literally, Sydney Sweeney, I don't know the names of the other two girls. It might be Tessa Thompson, but maybe not. there's these 3 girls, right? They're more Gen Z age.
They all get
Dakota Johnson is late 30s. Okay,
she's
so
not. Yeah, like she's a completely.
She's a nepo baby. Like she's not the same as them. So they're all really bonded. The younger 3. Dakota Johnson's literally saying in interviews, like, yeah, like I don't really like text them back. Like I find them like pretty annoying, actually. Like in the interviews, I'm like, I think she's just trying to distance herself as much as humanly possible from this film.
I don't blame her.
But it's like, you're kind of making it worse. You're kind of making yourself look bad. You're kind of...
True.
You should just be like a girl's girl. Be supportive. Just be like, you know what? Yeah, it was a flop, but I fired the people that made me do it, and now I'm moving forward with my life.
She's really pretty, though.
I know, and I loved her
I feel like she's prettier now than like
tour. Well, because she...
what's that movie? 50 Shades Face.
50 Shades, yeah.
Like she was just on SNL. I was like, dang, she
she really has figured out like her color analysis and knows her colors.
I'm so excited though about the what's the other movie?
J-Lo self-funded a movie 100% by herself for Amazon Prime. She spent $20 million of her own dollars.
Is it about her?
And the entire thing not only revolves around her.
Oh no!
It is like a 2-hour music video. It is all conceptual. It's hardly any of it is like rooted in reality. It's like she's like doing a dance scene and she's like a worker in this industrial plant. And then she's like in the heavens. And then she's like, it's literally so like abstract. And there's so many cameos. There's literally Trevor Noah, Jane Fonda. Like she paid up the ass.
Obviously Ben's in it, right?
I don't even think so. But I'm like, I feel J-Lo. She's trying to stay relevant. She's trying to keep up with the cool kids.
She's trying to...
You could just be the legacy of J-Lo that you were.
And just the block.
Literally, that's the thing. Like, I saw this mall. It looked like a mall concert. She's like, I'm still Jenny. Puts her mic in the audience. I'm still Jenny from the block. Nobody knew the words. Nobody knew the words. Like...
Dude, remember your fucking, speaking of mall performances.
Do you remember me doing runway shows
at Park
Place Mall and Tucson Mall?
Peak idol right there.
Peak of my life. What are you talking about? Like,
that was crazy. I thought you were
Yeah, I thought it was big. Yeah. Well, okay. I was 12 years old. I was modeling Aeropostale, doing runway shows.
Aeropostale?
It could be either. I think it's like up for interpretation. I like Aeropostale. And there was like John Jay and Rich that were there. Yeah. They were like doing a whole thing. They were like, like emceeing the day. And I was like,
John Jay Rich
with my Aeropostale and you know what? This song, I just actually mentioned this to Logan the other day and brought this up, which is ironic because I almost never talk about this. One song that I walked down the runway to, like, is one of my favorite songs of all time, just because it reminds me of it.
I think I know.
Christina Milian, Dip It Low.
Oh, bring it up slow. Dude, I'm going to bump that today. Have that thing. I'm going to show you how to make amazing. Oh,
gorgeous. That song is so good. But that was the year that I did that. It just, in Ponder Replay, like Rihanna, like those times were so good. Those were such good times. Oh we have so much to talk about today. That's why I feel like I'm talking really fast, but
J-Lo.
So much more to do.
Interesting.
Okay.
I never heard about it.
100% self-funded because not a single person would put money in it. And she was like, nobody believes in my ideas. So I did it myself. I put the money in because I knew I wanted to tell a new story. I wanted to tell my love story. And like,
so like,
it could not be more confusing. No.
Oh.
It's like a made up story.
Ew.
It's like an abstract, Caden.
I don't like it.
But so heavily CGI'd. That's what's so crazy.
That's why it's so expensive.
It's like an outer. I can't even describe this movie, you guys. I don't even fully know.
I can't comprehend.
What's happening.
Maybe that's why it's true art.
After this, like, I literally am going to show you a clip of Madame Web, and I'm going to show you a clip of the J-Lo thing, and you're going to be like, like, how did this get so far?
Yeah, like, there's so many levels of approval.
There's so many levels of approval, and it's like, things are
someone watched that and was like
shelved all the time. After something is fully made, produced, completed, edited, like signed, sealed, delivered, things are still shelved. Things are still like, oh, we're just not going to go with this one.
Not
like,
yet.
Or ever.
So
the fact that someone said, like, watched the full length at the end and was like, that's good enough for the theaters. Like, straight to DVD. Come on.
Yeah.
What's the equivalent of straight to DVD? Straight to streaming? Probably.
No, because if there's a good movie, but it was like...
Oh, that's a good point.
if it had like
there's like
HBO
Oscar
Max
nominated,
produced
like
it or whatever,
Netflix produced.
it'll be streamed streamed right away. I mean, there's a lot of Netflix movies that go straight on Netflix, and they're award winning.
Yeah,
crazy.
I'm trying to think. Ben Affleck, because he did Argo, but that was a theater
Argo.
movie.
That
and
was an Oscar.
I'm trying to think like Ben.
I think he directed that too.
Part of me is like, you know what? I love Ben Affleck to be such a supportive partner and be
Dunkin'
such a
commercials?
talented. Okay, love the Dunkin' commercials. He is really
That was very
growing on
He's
me.
very expressive.
More and more. He's hilarious in that. He's so funny in that.
Matt Damon,
great personality. Yeah,
Tom Brady.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, for him to be so talented as a director, producer, and to probably have like seen snippets of what JLo's working on and be a supportive husband and not be like,
I wonder if
oh my God, no, this is going to ruin our reputation. Like, I'm sure it was her money,
They're
but I'm sure
rich,
he gave his connections so that she could make a movie. Like, he makes movies, you know?
Yeah. And he's made quite a few.
I just honestly, part of me is like, Ben, why did you not like guide her a little bit more? But the other part of me is like, you know what? That's really awesome that he just let her do literally whatever she wanted and just was like,
I mean, what a story their lives are,
like,
you know, like divorce, coming back together.
They never got to get married. They were engaged and they broke up just before the wedding because of all the paparazzi.
But he actually got married to Jennifer Garner.
Jennifer Garner, and they had 2 kids. 2 or 3.
Him and his Jennifer, bro.
Him and his Jay. Girlies.
Him and his Jennies.
Jenny.
Was that so the movies were the only thing?
So those are the 2 movies. And then we have time. I would love to do a Love is Blind recap to just catch you up a little bit where we are. I even have photos queued of the people. I'm only going to talk about 3 couples. And the last 3 episodes come out next Wednesday. So this is like Love is Blind. We're on season 6.
This is where they sit in a room in the very beginning and talk across the wall or something?
Yes, there's a wall between them. They do blind dating in the pods. And then they propose in the pods blindly. And then there's a reveal. And then after the reveal, they move in together. And then after they move in together, they plan a wedding.
This is wild.
There's a honeymoon in there in between. But some people don't make it past the pods. Some people don't make it past the honeymoon. Some people leave after moving in together.
Doubt it.
But there is literally from season 1 still a couple married that are like amazing and like I loved them. I think, what is her name? I think it's Cameron.
That's why Love is Blind.
Love is Blind. So
love at first sight.
There is so much happening.
First voice.
There's so much happening culturally as well surrounding the conversation about Love is Blind this season. So I just feel like you need to be caught up.
Let's do it.
And then we can talk about it next week when the rest of the episodes come out. Okay. Let me first. How can I get you to see these photos? Maybe I'll just
show me.
Yeah. No, I prepared like a thing in Canva for you.
Wow.
But I don't want to switch between. I guess I will. We'll switch between Canva and my notes. Oh, I'm like literally not even logged in. Cool. There's got to be a better way. Oh, you know what?
Is this love that I'm feeling? Hope everyone had a good V-Day.
SOS, please. Someone help me. It's not healthy for me to feel this. Why? Oh,
dip it low.
In this heart.
Got me tossing, turning, and sleep at night. Okay.
I saved it in my Google Drive. But our shit is like really. Okay. So we have.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Kaden is playing the song. We have the first people I'm going to talk about is the love square between Jimmy, Chelsea, Jessica, Trevor. Jimmy.
Okay, yeah. Love is Blind.
Love is Blind.
Looks like.
What is your first impression of him?
He went to
Logan
BYU.
said he has Peyton Manning head.
Yeah. But he also looks like his name's Dave Smith.
And he's a polygamist. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so.
That's weird.
Let me start by talking about Jessica. We don't need to say anything. Jessica. Stop it, Kaden.
I'm sorry. We got Peyton Manning head where he's just going off.
That's a good point, actually. You're making it equal.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. But I didn't say that. Logan did. I'm speaking for Logan. Okay. Chelsea is interested in Jimmy and Trevor in the pods. Okay. Trevor, big man, hot man, burly man.
Burly, hefty.
Hefty boy.
Husky.
Also, he was interested in nobody else but Chelsea. He was 100% in on just her, ready to propose.
How old are these people?
30s. 20s and 30s.
Okay.
There's a fucking middle school principal that's 25 and he looks 35.
What?
So I'm like, how can you become
huh?
principal by 25? Okay. Anyways,
Grind.
we're not going to talk about them today, but Chelsea is interested in both men. Jimmy is interested in these two women, Jessica and Chelsea. Again, he can't see them. It's just personality. Jessica has a 10-year-old daughter.
Oh,
and that's
zoom in on
kind
Jessica.
of
Zoom in on those.
A brunette Amber filler up, if you will. Stunning.
She is very stunning.
Gorgeous. Would a 10-year-old daughter be a deal breaker for you?
You
Don't even. Would a 10-year-old daughter be a deal breaker for you?
Again, how old are they?
If she looked like that. I think she's in her 29? Let's say she's 29 because I'm making it up.
Teen mom?
I don't know. 19? Sure.
Okay, hold on. Damn.
Okay, moving on. So I think that was initially what turned him off from Jessica. But
the kid?
Yes, but he was still on the fence. Chelsea knew he was on the fence and she was like, I got to get this guy back because I think she is the type of person that is so insecure that she would rather not lose someone to another girl than lose a guy that was 100% in on her. Like she would rather have Jimmy because she wants to be picked over Jessica than have a secure, stable guy that just was in on her.
Trevor only wants Chelsea?
Yeah. So Chelsea tells...
Who does Jessica want?
Jessica wants Jimmy.
And Jimmy wants Chelsea.
Jimmy wants both of them, but is turned off by the kid and is still on the fence. And then Chelsea, the day before decision day, she goes, my doppelganger is Megan Fox. Which...
I can see it.
It is. She is 2001 Holiday in the Sun, young Megan Fox. She is.
It's the brunette blue eyes, yeah.
You say my doppelganger is Megan Fox. This man's fully expected Megan Fox was on the other side. He fully was like, oh my God, Megan Fox is here.
Did they reveal? Has that happened yet?
So we've gotten through all of this. This is the beginning.
Dude,
I'm just catching you up.
Do they pretend?
Let me go. Let me go.
This hurts. I don't like it.
Jimmy proposes to Chelsea.
Her cook. Oh.
He's like, Megan Fox is here. He proposes to Chelsea first. Trevor goes to propose to her. She's like, I just said yes to Jimmy. He's like, were you just going to say yes to the first person who asked you? She was like, oh, maybe. Maybe, yeah. The reveal. Jimmy and Chelsea. The doors open. Chelsea just starts running to him.
Oh.
Like, and he literally in the caption it said Netflix was like panting in the closed captions. Okay.
That is hilarious.
Hugs Jimmy. Jimmy hugs her, makes eye contact with like the cameras, and then the producers is like,
oh no.
His like eyes are watering. No, this man is like,
I gotta see
this isn't Megan Fox, right?
Fuck no, egghead.
Stop.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's okay. It's just a tease.
She is really pretty, but if you set the expectation at 11 out of 10 on the looks scale, like bombshell beyond, his expectation, like she set herself up for failure. Had she said my doppelganger is like
Don't
like
even
Pam
say
from The Office,
bro.
You're not even supposed to. That's why it's called Love is Blind. You're not supposed to give any clues as to what you look like because it ruins it. So
who told her she's a fucking Megan Fox?
A lot of people, and I agree with it. I do.
Maybe there's a better picture.
There are better pictures that I'll show you at another time. So she breaks it off with Trevor, even though he would have been right. He would have told her
Jimmy
she looks like Megan Fox. So Jimmy did a blind proposal to Chelsea.
And they're stuck.
And then they do the reveal. And then they go to the honeymoon together. And then he's flirting with other women on the honeymoon. And she the whole time is like,
is she oblivious?
Why are you not paying? No, she's pissed. She's like, you're not really like giving me that much attention. You literally are telling all these other people that they're beautiful. Like you haven't even like kissed me today. Like, you know, that,
God,
but she's
it hurts
so insecure that that's triggering her insecurity. So then she is doubling down by needing constant reassurance from him, which is turning him off even more. So it's that cycle of she's pushing him away. He's like flirting with other girls. That's making her clingier. Like,
but he's trying to show her like, yo, I don't care about you.
But he is with his actions like, yeah, like I don't care.
Yeah,
about
no,
you.
it's
But she
that's painful.
Kind of fucked up. Okay.
And fucked, yeah.
Let me just make sure that was everything. I have notes, people. I just want to make sure
I'll
that's
have to look at that reveal.
Thorough. The way that I can't even look at my you guys. Technology is not it today. What has been all the issues with technology today? This is not the first thing. Like we've had so many things. Oh, Kaden was playing Dip It Low right now. I don't know if we're allowed to play because of copyright, but I will just tell you, it is hitting like it always
just
has.
A quick filler.
Oh, it's so good. Okay, I think we can move on from talking about them because it's just, that's exactly what I wanted to say. Like, her insecurity is fueling him, and he's just not into her. He's just not into her. And I wish that they did not let them have their phones yet, because we didn't get to see Jimmy seeing Jessica for the first time because he looked her up on like Instagram. Like, they were given their phones when they, I think either after the honeymoon or when they moved into the house, and he looked up Jessica, and we didn't get to see his reaction when he sees what he missed. But you want to know what's great? Jessica in the pods, this was like the biggest slay. When he broke up with her, she was like, you are going to choke. You are going to choke when you see what you missed out on. You're going to need your EpiPen to open up your airways when you realize what you're like leaving behind. I'm like, that's the funniest fucking shit I've ever heard. That is like, wow. I love that.
She's powerful. I like her.
I am obsessed with her. I love her. I think she's like
Justice for Jessica.
Justice for Jessica. She's such a queen. But we'll see how there's 3 more. So they release 3 episodes every Wednesday. So we are slowly seeing it play out
3
as
episodes?
it goes. 3. So we get 3 hours of content every week to catch up on all the couples. Okay, the next couple I want to talk about is Jeremy and Laura. I want your first impression of Jeremy.
Mid high school teacher.
As fuck. Wow. Okay, impression of Sarah Ann.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, my impression?
Just no, that was good enough. And then Laura. I just want to show you what everyone looks like.
She looks like Skylar from Breaking Bad.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. That's her doppelganger.
Uh-huh.
She should have said that. No. Okay, so Jeremy picks Laura. Jeremy proposes to Laura. They go on the honeymoon. They have a pretty good time. I'm like, okay, like they seem pretty unproblematic. He seems a little immature. He's really nitpicky with like his deal breakers. He's like, I wear Hawaiian shirts. Like, I'm not throwing away my Hawaiian shirts. Like he's like, yeah, like nothing that's like serious.
People in their ways.
Okay, so
I can learn from that.
You see what they look like. I don't need to show you while I talk about it. Okay. Kaden, the end of the last episode.
Oh no.
They sit down, Jeremy and Laura, for a little filmed confrontation. Okay. Laura goes, why did you get home at 5 o'clock in the morning last night? You left at 10:45. You got home at 5 a.m. Where were you? He was like, the bar. She's like, bars close at 2. Where were you from 2 to 5? He's like, no, like, okay, so, well, Sarah Ann was at the bar.
Boom, like, oh.
The one he didn't choose. The one that wanted him, and he was like, that was like his second choice, okay? He did not choose her. She's at the bars, and he's like, yeah, like we were just like talking, and like she just said like she was annoyed about some stuff. Like she like slid into my DMs apparently, like hello, why are you even answering DMs? And she's like, so why are you leaving the door open? Why are you even entertaining that? Going to the bar, like talking with her. You're like you're giving her an idea like things are open.
Of course, it's a terrible.
Of course. He goes,
example.
Well, I left my location. I shared my location with you for reassurance. She's like,
gaslighting.
First of all, do you want me to be checking your location throughout the whole night while I'm trying to be like asleep from like 2 a.m. to 5 a.m.? Like, how is that reassuring?
This goes on in the show?
Yeah. She's like, reassurance would be you coming home in a decent hour. Like, that's what reassurance is. And he's just like, well, okay, I can see how it came across like that. But there was like, you know, like, sorry, it came across like that. And she was like, so what were you doing? And he was like, we were just in the parking lot at the bar talking. And she's like, oh, because she literally gave him the chance to come clean. Kaden, she knew everything the whole time.
Yeah, of course.
She was
they always find out.
She was like, oh, you weren't in Uptown where Sarah Ann lives? This fool left his phone in his car at the parking lot, but left on his Apple Watch. So she saw him leave the bars with Sarah Ann, go back to her place, and
Apple
stay.
Watch?
Yes, for hours.
They banged.
He fucked up. I 100% think they banged.
Banged.
I think it'll come out in the next episode. We don't know what happened, but the guilt on this man's face. He was caught red-handed. She handled this conversation like such a G. She knew the whole time. Skylar from Breaking Bad knew the whole time and just was so calm, like, oh, well, why the fuck did you share your location with me if you weren't like gonna be where you said you were? Like,
sleazy boy
comes out. Guess what? He had a fiance
What?
And applied for the show while he was still with his old fiance. And I think they had a kid. There was a picture of the three of them with a kid. And his ex-mother-in-law posts a picture to Facebook with receipts, with timestamps of, this is my daughter and her ex-fiance, literally like 2 months before the show.
I know
he
the
sold
producers
his
are like
house,
eating this shit
but
up.
at the same time, like, this does not make for good television. Like, the fact that this guy is not actually serious.
Terrible too.
It's like the producer should be doing a better job of vetting the people that are coming on to make sure that people are having a fair chance.
Exactly.
That's not fair.
True. If you actually want,
he's an actual asshole.
It's
like
true love.
So now that that's all come out, I'm really curious to see how the rest of it goes. But it was just such a baller move, like from Skylar from Breaking Bad to sit him down, be so peaceful and calm, and then just be like, "You weren't at the bar. You." And
Sounds
it's like it was like a
scene.
huge reveal. She was like, "You were in Uptown, where Sarah Ann lives."
She's frightening.
It was gorgeous. It was so satisfying. I literally, because you know me, I'm working at the computer. Oh, yeah. It's on the TV. I was like, and that had my attention for a minute. I was like, really? Oh my gosh, it was so good. And then so the other couples aren't quite as juicy as those two couples. Like, that is truly the majority of like the discourse on TikTok is talking about those two couples. But I want to give a little honorable mention to, what's his name? Johnny and Amy. Johnny reminds me of you. He's got like long hair. He's like a bigger like picture? Golden retriever guy. Of course.
Johnny.
And not necessarily in looks all the way, but like in personality as well. And look at that. Kind of reminds me of you.
I could see.
Okay. And this is the girl he picked, Amy. Okay. Incredible together. Incredible communication. Just are so open with one another. No notes. Okay. Well, the only notes is like, he is annoyed because she doesn't want to go on birth control. And he's like, well, I'm not going to have like a mistake child. Like, I'd rather get a vasectomy before having like a mistake child. Like, he'd rather have a vasectomy than use condoms. I'm like, he's so scared of having kids. I'm like,
I understand that, but
bruh. And she's like, well, I want to be like intimate. And he's like, yeah, like, I'm not saying you have to go on birth control, but like, that's just like something we have to figure out.
That sounds selfish.
I'm like, it's a little like immature of him, like in general, just a little immature. But in terms of the relationship that they have, like their communication, like the way that they're just like fun together, it kind of reminds me of like what you're looking for in a relationship and like the kind of
me.
The kind of relationship you would want. It just like reminded me of you. Full circle.
Totally okay.
But I really want you to watch the last 3 episodes with me now, so that we can see how these all shake out, and then we can talk about it. Oh my God, we have so much content.
I know, we gotta find the time. I think we will.
Oh, wow. So that's my Love is Blind recap. I just wanted you to kind of get a little quick glance at what is going on.
Juicy shit. I bet people are loving that.
And of course, like Chelsea is now like all over TikTok, like, can everyone who said I looked like Megan Fox please like speak up because you're making me look bad?
Oh my
and, like,
God.
She's kind of doing a fun like TikTok personality right now. It's cute.
But this is already like
everything's done.
Right?
Yeah. And this was like a year ago in these people's lives. So it's coming out a year later.
Like it's present.
They don't necessarily have to, but they can comment as each episode comes out. Like their own commentary or like a BTS, like this was my actual experience.
That's wild.
There's honestly a lot more happening.
Like the legality of it, like what they have to, like their NDAs and shit.
Not only that, but this season particularly, like you can just see in people's eyes and the way they talk, everyone's drinking a lot more, I think, than in past episodes. Like you just get endless flow of alcohol and you're filming sometimes for really long hours, like until 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
and
I've heard that, especially for a Bachelor.
Yes. And it's like, you're not getting these people at their best. And also when you're arguing, I feel like when you're drinking and you get into an argument, you're so quick to be triggered. You're so quick to just like immediately know, like immediately da-da-da-da. Like instead of like thinking about, you're not like processing correctly. Yeah. So I feel like these relationships are not starting in like the healthiest way because none of them are like processing their emotions correctly. None of them are like
100%.
Yeah. So that's interesting as well. And I feel like, how long has this already been? I'm like, do we even have time for a topic today?
Is that all of catching up?
That's everything.
Okay.
Oh my God, should I keep going? We have like 30 minutes.
We're fine. Yeah, 30.
Our audio's been hanging in there.
I would say, man, let's just say 25 because I don't know how long that me fixing the mic that one time.
Okay. Let's get into it. I have a topic today. It's a little more serious. But I think that this is like a perfect segue. So I think Chelsea, going back to Love is Blind, I think Chelsea wanting to be with Jimmy over Trevor was a choice that was made from following her more anxious, insecure feelings and not following her intuition. And that is something that's come up a lot for me this last week and just in general in my life is just like, what is the difference between the feeling of anxiety in the pit of your stomach and like a feeling of intuition? How do you decipher them? Like, how do you know like what to follow? And yeah, I guess this started because Wednesday we were at the park with Sienna and we were just like laying in the middle of an open field. It was like midday. It was a beautiful day. People are walking around. And like literally the whole time I was just kind of like clocking people, make sure there's no like, you know, sketchy people at the park. Like, but I'm also like, okay, like how far is Sienna walking from me? And like, could I, if someone tried to snatch her, could I get to her quicker than someone else at the park? Like, that's like what I'm thinking about like the whole time. It was like, okay, like, could I run to her quicker than that person? Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, Mama and then I'm like bringing it up to Logan and I'm like, I feel like, you know, this is obviously like not going to happen. Like, he's like, yeah, no one's going to snatch her in broad daylight. And he kind of helps like ground me in that sense. But that did just get me thinking about the difference between anxiety and intuition. And it's difficult, especially with parenthood. I think that there's a lot of layers, right? To like what makes someone feel insecure. And I don't even mean insecure in like your physical appearance. I mean like an insecurity, like feeling unsafe within yourself, just like in your body. So that's just something I've been thinking about a lot in general. And I've just realized like that is anxiety. Like when you let your mind wander enough to create like these scenarios in your head. So like I'm in my mind thinking about all these things that could happen at the park to where it's literally triggering physical sensations of panickiness. You know what I mean? And like anxiousness, like my own thoughts.
Stems from fear.
Well, yes, to an I mean, there's layers to it.
Intuition would, you know.
Right, that's a good point. So, like one like deciphering thing is like there's fear involved.
But like, what emotion other than let's say like fear is the stem emotion that brings up anxiety? But what would you think the emotion is that brings up intuition?
Well, that's a good question. I think like it being more like in your heart space and less in like your mind. It's like intuition's almost like more follow your heart, whereas anxiety is like you're following your thoughts.
Well, the true part of like the gut feeling because of how much I guess the gut and the brain is interconnected as far
That's
as...
a great point too. Well, yeah.
I think so.
But I mean, the point with like the parenting thing I was going to say is like, it's difficult because with parenting, like it really does hit you like a ton of bricks when you have a child. Like, oh, holy shit, I literally have to defend this perfect, sweet, innocent child with my life. Nothing can happen to them. If something happens to them, like I don't even know what I would do with myself. Like if somebody broke into our house, like, oh, I would kill them with my bare hands, like in a second. Like if somebody threatened our lives in any way or came for Sienna, I would be feral. Yeah. I would be feral. So it's like, having to kind of like simmer down those like, those fears so that I can just have like my intuition shine through because that completely blocks any other like sensory, like intuition or, you know, like energy. But I just want to bring an awareness to it because even if you're not somebody that identifies as somebody like with anxiety, I actually think anxiety is sneaky in that even if it's not like a diagnosed anxiety, I think like some general anxiety has a sneaky way of like really controlling your decisions and like making you do things that you wouldn't do because you're considering, you know, either what would other people think or there's so many layers. It's like not only what other people would think, but the layer of like parenting plus layer of like childhood experiences that make you who you are. And like, for me, I have really anxious attachment in relationships. So like I like understand Chelsea when she is constantly needing like validate. Like, no, like that's the thing. Like I feel like I can identify that because I've spent so much of my life like insecure and not confident. Like I completely understand how it feels to feel like you have to like hunch or make yourself smaller or wear baggy clothes because you don't want eyes on you because you feel like everyone's just judging you head to toe everywhere you go and you just feel like hot and like, you know, like I understand that feeling. And I just think like it actually controls a lot more of us than we realize. Like, would you say that you like get anxiety ever or feel anxiousness?
Not necessarily.
Really? You don't have any kind of like panickiness ever, or you don't think like, go ahead. I'm curious what you have to say.
No, I was just going to say, I think maybe the anxiousness I could experience would just come from maybe insecurities.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Our insecurities manifesting themselves in ways that control us to an extent. And I think
the chain reaction or domino effect to all these other feelings.
100%. Insecurity, I think, is like the root of everything.
I mean, they're being self-conscious in a negative aspect, in a negative way.
Yes. I feel like...
So we can like master that.
Well, that's the thing that I was going to say. Like, you know how you can have like a yoga practice? Like it's called a practice because you never master it. It's something you just practice your whole life.
It's meditation
I have
too.
like a personal growth practice. And part of my daily practice is like challenging my thoughts, checking myself, like literally trying to like interrupt negative thoughts or bad thoughts and like course correct or try to like ground myself in other ways. I feel like that's super, super helpful.
Well, that's huge too, especially for having all these sporadic
intrusive thoughts, and like
which a lot of people struggle with.
And it's like intrusive thoughts with like parenting, like something bad happening to her, or like specifically in my relationship. I mean, again, like anxious attachment stems from not only childhood experience, but just like my whole life experience. And it's very complicated. And like, I never really talk about my relationship. So I already asked Logan if I could. It was fine. But it would be like, especially before Sienna, the smallest things would go wrong, or we would have like a small argument. And my first thought would be like, oh my God, he's not the one. Oh my God, we're going to break up. We're not meant to be together. I'm going to miss him so much. Oh my God, how am I going to break up with him? Where are we going to like literally would already be missing him from the breakup, and he doesn't even know anything is wrong. Like that's how anxiety fueled my thoughts would become.
Good gosh, that's tough.
It's really tough because Logan has an opposite attachment style. He has an avoidant attachment style from his childhood experiences and his life experience, and like the habits that we've developed have put us into these, you know, cycles essentially. But really, it's so helpful to like check your thoughts, and Logan really helps ground me. And it's just, how are we doing on time?
Or learn how you communicate with one another.
That's the thing, like understanding one another,
different communication
to where
styles.
If something comes up, it's like, well, okay, this is what I was going to say. The way that you can tell if it's like anxiety or overthinking. Well, first of all, I can't not tell you how many times I would literally be like, okay, like, is this like the one? Is it like just, am I overthinking it? Like literally asking myself 100 times, am I overthinking this?
Talk to me about it when I lived here. You know?
No, but it's like, there's nothing that says overthinking, like asking yourself 100 times if you're overthinking it.
Yeah.
It's like, that's to me how I break out of that. It's like, if I'm stuck in this like thought cycle, that is where I go. But if I just, there's like a couple things that I do. If I just like sit still, and it has to be outside of like the emotional state. Like you can't be like figuring these things out when you're still in an heightened emotions, like just after an argument, or just like when you're still in a thing. So giving it days to be in a completely neutral state emotionally. And then thinking about like, okay, like, let me just think about us together. Oh, warm fuzzies. Okay, great. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's just a weird human, like a response. Like our first instinct is to blow up, or like you have to respond like, to the anger, or you want the fight to uproar, but taking time away, which is probably one of the hardest things to do.
It's the hardest thing to do is to not react in the moment. The hardest thing to do is just
to
recognize
the moment, like
recognizing in the moment,
away.
Recognizing in the moment. Oh, they're doing that because of their experience, and that's how they've handled things. How instead of taking it personally, or instead of like trying to like combat that, it's like, how can I help this person in this moment, because they're having a hard time, like literally being selfless and just being
easier
like,
said than done.
I know, but that's like years and years of practice and therapy. Like that has like gotten me to a place of like shedding insecurity, so that I'm not taking it personally if he's, you know what I mean? If he's acting a certain way, it's like, That's the thing too, man. Therapy.
Well, with so much
we love therapy.
outside influence in a digital world,
yes,
with so many distractions.
Yes.
I think that's probably why therapy is so prevalent now, or like necessary.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to have a sounding board that isn't your own thoughts.
Yeah.
To where I'm not like, I could literally be saying what I would think to my therapist, but she would be like taking it in a direction that I like wouldn't take it in my mind or like wouldn't expect, or like, oh, well, like what about like that? I'm like, oh, like, I didn't even think about that.
Different
like,
thought processes.
Totally. The other thing, okay, so I had like a list of things that I do that help my anxiety. And again, like, I don't think I have like severe anxiety. I haven't been diagnosed with anxiety. It's just like, I know that anxiousness like runs my life sometimes, and like creating an awareness around that and trying to make other choices, I feel like is what's led me to be much more like stable, confident, self-assured. Truly, like confidence, I have learned it is like the way that you treat yourself and speak to yourself in your mind, and how that manifests in the way that you carry yourself in the world. So it's like, if you can control your thoughts, it literally trickles down to everything else in your life. Okay, hold on. Let me go back to anxiety. My notes. Wants to bring me down. Also, another thing is like, specifically with like relationship anxiety, not just like sitting alone and saying, oh, how do I feel? But like, well, it's just like the everyday. Logan and I are together. We're talking, we're recapping our day. Like, how do I feel when it's just like normal every day? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Do I have like a pit in my stomach? Like this is not going to work out. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, the day.
Right. It's just like, or am I just like, oh, I love this. This is so fun. And what I love about Logan and our relationship is like, we literally do not do shit for other people. Like, we do not care about having different jobs because of the optics, and we don't care about acting more in love with each other in public so people think we are more in love. Like, I just don't like being on for other people, and the way that I can just completely be like myself and still and whatever with Logan. Like, those are the things that matter. Those are the things that like I remind myself that like break me out of anxious thoughts. And so many anxious thoughts are driven by, again, like how others perceive you. Honestly, to an extent, I don't care what anyone thinks. If they say like, oh, I don't really care what people think about me, you would be surprised like how many little decisions are made based on other people. Like, even the decision to have like a bigger wedding versus a smaller wedding because your parents expected that, like, boom, you're doing something because of other people's expectations. Like, there are actually, even if you're like, oh, I don't care what people think about me, I'm super confident. Like, there are still ways.
There's still actions you're taking because of what you think someone else is expecting.
So I'm curious for you, like, if you were invisible to everybody, including on social media, like, what would your like thought processes be? Like, what would your actions be? What choices would you make? Like, would you do anything differently if there was no other people that could see you?
I've always had the idea in the back of my head where I try and challenge myself to do things like at wherever I'm at that would kind of, I don't know. I don't want, because I've always struggled, I guess, sometimes having people think about or care what I think. Oh God. I care what people would think about me. So I like to do things where maybe I'm outgoing, right? Or
you want to be liked.
Yeah, but also try and do what I want to do, like in that moment, regardless of my surroundings, if that makes sense. But it's, I always try and challenge myself. I mean, luckily I grew up, and doing student council and shit and having to be like a center of attention for stuff and putting myself out there. When I remember freshman year of high school, I was like, that's fucking lame. I'm not going to do student council. What the hell? I was like, I'm going to play football. Go to the NFL.
Go to the Olympics.
But I just did it, and it's definitely course corrected my life. But it's tough to say. I mean, I definitely have those moments, but I'm constantly trying to improve myself. And like I said, challenge myself in social scenarios. Even sober, of course. Obviously, being drunk, you have that no, like everyone's that way. They don't care about anything. They can do whatever. But yeah, that's one thing to master, just or practice anyway. Constantly practice your thoughts and trying to evolve in not caring what people think, even though it's like you're gonna always have moments, right? I mean, like people say, you're not your thoughts. And it's crazy because
it's like that person is not me at my core.
Yeah.
Those are just conditioning.
People all of us have wild thoughts.
Wild thoughts.
I mean, even the simple ones, driving next to a cliff, like, what would it look like if I jumped off?
And that's something that's super prevalent in postpartum. Like, you actually really get checked up on quite a bit because, I mean, postpartum depression is such a thing where mothers harm their children because of these intrusive thoughts.
Jesus.
But for me, when I had Sienna, like, I remember they were telling me, like, yeah, you're going to want to, like, she had a little bit of jaundice. Like, you want to put her in, like, the sun, like, in the early morning. So I'd go on the patio and would just be literally so scared that I would be like, whoa! And she'd like fly off the balcony. Like
you drop her or something?
Yes. Yeah. And just the mere like beginning thought of that is enough to make me like freak out. Freak out. And not be okay.
All because of just something you're creating
slight
within
thought,
your head.
Something that's never even close to happened. Like, it's not like I've almost been dropped from a balcony. Yeah. Like, I have no prior. It's like, but it's it doesn't exist so deep.
Just in your head.
And yet the physical pain that I feel and the physical, like, you're sweating. There's symptoms, right? Like a little bit of sweating. You feel hot. You feel shaky. You feel panicky. Like,
the power
can't catch
of the
your
mind,
breath.
Man.
Like, exactly.
That's why placebos are so effective.
Exactly.
Like, you can literally convince yourself of something true.
And so that's where I'm like, with intuition, I really think it's about silencing your mind. And Logan's really good at, like, he's like, can you literally take 2 deep breaths? Can you just stop and take a breath? Like, the second you take a couple breaths, you literally interrupt whatever thing you were in.
Deep
whatever,
breaths.
Like, that is enough.
It's so cliche.
It's such a quick.
It's so dumb. That is cliche.
It's so dumb that it's cliche. It's like, take a deep breath.
It's so valid.
Thanks. But if you actually did it, it would break that thought pattern. And then it's like, okay, now I'm at a more neutral mindset. Like, then what is the choice I want to make?
Just filling your body with oxygen and you're like, you're clear.
But it's also just like taking a pause. You're focusing on your breathing, so you're not focusing on the thing you were thinking of. It just interrupts you. And then to like a little bit of a deeper extent, something that I used to do, especially in like 2020, 2021, when we were really in our like meditative, like grounding, every day, like
back to those
good
days.
Times, COVID, but good times for us. Anyways,
honestly.
What I would do during that time, especially to combat anxious feelings, is doing, so solar plexus is one of your chakras. Okay. You've got like, you know, the chakras. Your solar plexus is like right in here, and it's like where that like intuition gut feeling stems from, the solar plexus. So you could do guided solar plexus meditations, or even not unguided, just with music, like frequency music. And you could be doing a meditation and just focus on that, like bring an awareness to that part of your body, focus on like what feelings are happening. And that's how you can kind of identify, oh, that is a more like positive, more like knowing feeling versus, you know what I mean? Like an anxious pit of your stomach. Yes, exactly.
Like chakras literally aligned.
Literally, especially like root chakra,
like I mean,
ground
you
yourself.
Feel it.
No, 100%. And it's like when you do that meditation, I do feel like it's almost like butterflies in your stomach, like kind of thing.
I see what you're saying.
There's just some sort of like glow, energy, awareness,
Elevated.
Like in the solar plexus area. Versus, when I'm like getting nervous about something or anxious or whatever, it's like more a deep pit feeling. It's like deeper and like makes me want to bomb. It's like a slightly different part of the body.
So what's the difference between intuition and human instinct? Like, you know, like animals have just a natural instinct. Like,
I feel like instinct,
when it comes down to it, we're literally
is like a reflex.
Species, you know?
Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like you can't really control. Well, I mean, are you talking about like mother instinct? I think that is intuition.
No, not only that though, but let's say sensing danger. Right? That is
like the hairs stand up.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
And you're just sensing it. Like, what is that? What is a reflex?
And we're getting too sciencey.
No, I'm just saying that's.
What is a reflex? But I think that's intuition. So I think like the human I think that's part. Complex. I think intuition is in the bowl of like instinct. I think you have multiple instincts. I think intuition is an instinct.
Is in the bowl of intuition.
Do you think intuition is an instinct or instinct is an intuition? It's both. They mean the same thing. They're interchangeable. Totally. No, but I've just been thinking a lot about it because it has honestly like changed my life for the better to really actually do the work on yourself to correct your thoughts, speak kinder to yourself, correct when you're having like spiraling anxiety, like in a negative way, just easy, deep breath. Like, come on. Just these little things. And also like realizing where it's stemming from in therapy, like maybe revisiting. No, it's totally fine. It's like all those things combined, like have made me a more confident person. And then being more confident, I have this feeling of like, oh, anything is possible. And having the feeling of, oh, anything is possible literally is just attracting opportunities. You are like a magnet for opportunities and blessings and whatever, and abundance, whatever you want to manifest when you are in a position of like feeling good about yourself and your life and you like your life choices.
Maybe instinct is basically like you grabbing on the energies and it's channeled through your intuition. You know what I'm saying? Like instinct is like a reaction to like whatever frequencies around you. Like it's like grabbing on.
Yeah.
And then it's like filtered.
Yeah. Through, it's like you have like sensors. Or
it's simultaneous.
Sensors like, well, I think that's what your aura is. Like you have this aura. It's kind of like a bubble around you, and your aura, when it gets like dense. So this is like an interesting TikTok I saw. Your aura, when it gets dented, that it creates a depression in your aura from outer things. And that's like depression. In order to pull out that dent, like not cure depression, but like in order to push it back out, you need expression. To express, the more you express your energy, the more your aura radiates and the more it pushes out depressions into your aura. So it's like expression, like art, singing, outdoor, like exercise, anything that you like physically, emotionally, like any kind of expression, creative or otherwise,
which
especially
is tough,
creative.
Though, because depression is so powerful where it makes you not want to express.
I know. No, 100%. But that is the only way to combat that is to like shake up that energy.
At least balance it out.
Yeah. That's like sort of related to what you were saying, but kind of not really. But the point is like, your aura is like the energy field around you, and it can sense like within, a few feet out from you, it's surroundings.
Well, yeah, I'd say that. That's definitely something too that if you ever indulge in psychedelics, it's you're so sensitive to that.
Yeah, like to other energies.
Everyone's aura is nuts. Like
really,
it's just like this feeling of a wave of like exactly how that person is.
Oh, like I see right through you.
Yeah, like that guy. Like I don't know, but maybe it's not like that person's a bad person, but that frequency just doesn't align.
Doesn't align,
yours.
Right? Totally.
It's not good or bad. It's just like
oh, I'm not safe.
It's a bond.
Yeah.
Whether that's strangers, friends, future lovers, but yeah, no, it's a lot of it. Yeah, it's amazing. And it's all kind of stems from what we're talking about.
Yes.
Anxiety, intuition is all an interpretation of the energy around us.
Reality. We're all interpreting reality differently.
Of the reality that
learned experience, conditioning. No, all of these things. We've talked about this, but it's like the more that Logan and I are just like, hey, like the only thing that matters is you and me. Like,
that's what nothing else matters.
The more we focus on just us, the happier I am with my life. The happier I'm literally like living on heaven on earth when it's just me, Sienna, Logan. We're focused on us. We're focused on our family. We're focused on our connection. We're focused on like loving our life. Like truly, like you can't say shit to me. No one can say shit to me. It's not going to affect me. Like when I'm just focused on that. Sorry, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say that maybe you've had more opportunities to be exposed to situations where you're anxious because of you've had a partner for so long.
That's the other thing.
Whereas I've been such an individual and independent, I don't have these.
You don't have anyone challenging you and your
if thoughts. It's like it's always just me. Like not like that's like your friends are gonna put in this position where
but like no one's really disagreeing with you. No one's like
exactly. No
challenging you.
No one's putting you in your place,
giving their opinion.
Other than you, but that's different. It's different.
It's different because you're like, take it or leave that advice. You know what I mean? It's not like you like you like need to compromise with me and like make something. You know what I mean? It's
where it's a necessity for your life to.
But that's why I think
be healthy.
Long term relationships are so beautiful for growth in that way. It's like you literally start as these two just like innocent little don't know shit people, and then together through arguing, through confrontation, through good times, through bad times, like you are literally getting all these situations where you're having to not react in a way that is like an almost autopilot at this point. So that's the thing. You've been on autopilot for so long, doing things exactly your
scary,
way for
I
so
still have
long.
to go through all of this.
You
dude.
still have to like literally accommodate another human being in your life.
Yeah, which
I'm like, do you even want to date?
I have it successfully.
Right.
But again,
but that's the thing. It's like
time is
if it's the right person, like that's what relationships are for, to make the other person grow, to challenge you, to push you, to be like, you know,
gotta be exposed.
Yeah, totally.
And like also, put my place.
Yeah.
I would like that.
I would love it.
I would love for
oh my God.
Girl to
because there are sometimes I'll say something and you're like, what? And I'm like, oh,
shut up, bitch.
My God. Like, I just can't wait. I just can't wait for someone to give you a little feminine example touch. Of that? Oh, I'll let you know. I'm just kidding. I will. I don't have one on top of my head.
That's fine.
But I'm sure I could think of one if I had a little more time. Time was something that we are out of today because I feel like I had so much to say today. God, at times, Kaden,
we look at these waveforms, you can see where
I know
there's nothing on mine.
But part of me wants to record more than once a week. I have so many thoughts.
There's no way, not yet.
I know, with our work schedules, we simply can't. I'm like, did I get everything out?
Unless you want to, if you're cool with recording the golden hour.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
That would work.
It'd be a little dark, but
whole summer it doesn't get dark till 8. That's what I'm saying. Like a 5:30 vibe.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
And maybe essentially,
maybe we do an audio only.
Sienna Logan here. Like,
what if we do an audio only extra instead of recording it? Like, what if we did like an extra one a week that was audio only?
Yeah.
For like a nighttime vibe.
Maybe a
little like.
Oh yeah.
Cool slow jams. We'll have a different intro outro. It'll be like this is like kind of like daytime, like you know our intro outro, but maybe the music would be more like
the evening edition.
Welcome back to
Delilah.
Yes, exactly. You know what I always thought that was local to us? Delilah was national. Everybody fucking knows Delilah. I thought that was a Tucson local sweetheart.
Me too.
No, national. Everyone knows her.
Mix
FM.
Delilah. She came on like at.
I remember Christmas time too. Like I remember driving back from your Vail Vikings football games.
I think about Vail, like Quick Mart at night,
Airheads
going
in the
over
back.
the railroad.
I remember I'd buy Airheads from the like vendors at the your football games. And
no way.
Fucking get headaches because I'm just
no pun intended.
I fucking love Airheads.
Yeah,
can't eat them anymore. They make my teeth hurt. They're so sugary.
They're
like
so bad.
It's so much sugar that I literally chewing it. I'm like, ha ha. I have like teeth sensitivity. It's been a while.
What were we gonna say other than Delilah? Evening edition.
Yeah, that might be kind of fun.
But I'm saying Sienna could still be here because I think Sienna could still be here because it'd be easy to if she does
edit her out. We could just pause and then
Or no, I don't honestly I don't know if it would catch because
maybe not.
Especially with her frequency of her voice, I can easily cut that out.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Do you feel good about today? Do you feel like we've talked about all there is to? Do you feel like you've said enough?
No, but it's also like I said, it probably is a more prevalent subject to you because you've had exposure to these feelings,
right? And whereas especially
me, I'm like I definitely know intuition, and I've been in scenarios where I've had to, I guess, listen to it, but it's hard to pinpoint. I can understand it. I just can't relate to it.
I think for me, it was like I had so many instances this week that like reminded me of things, or you know what I mean. It was like looking at the park that it was like, wow, I have so much to say.
I've been again, like you, especially this week, autopilot, dude. Like everyone's asking me, like, do you remember that one thing at that table? I'm like, dude, I don't even know what day it is. Like, everything's just
the week has been kind of weird though. Actually,
a cluster. I mean, there was something
Wednesday. I was like, what?
My coworkers were like, I think the moon's in Virgo or some shit. So
well, there's a full moon in Virgo, or like the last full moon in Virgo, or whatever.
Full moon last night,
or maybe it was last night. I think it's tonight.
Because tonight will be the night that I will fall for you
over again.
Don't make me change
that's enough of that.
My mind.
That's all I have to say. I'm like trying to wrap it up with like a nice like conclusion, like that's like really poignant.
Dip it
and
low.
I think all I have to say is
dip it low.
No, ready?
Gonna be okay.
You can't change the past.
Not the callback.
It's already happened. And the fact that she was wearing shades for that, I'm like,
predict the future because it hasn't happened.
Well, wait, I actually want to figure out what the exact line was because it was so dumb and I don't know if I'm getting it right. Hold on.
I think that was a good example of how dumb it is.
I mean, yeah, I don't need to look it up.
We might have some camera. Go look it up real quick. We can dip it low.
Ooh.
She's pretty.
Oh, this is what it is. The final spoken words are, you know, the best thing about the future.
So it was about the future?
It hasn't happened yet.
Oh my gosh. That's funny because you said it, but you just flipped it.
The opposite, yeah. Like you can't change the past. It's already happened.
You
know the best thing about the future? Yeah.
It hasn't happened yet. Which is what I guess Chad said.
Yeah, actually.
I was just saying because you can't predict the future because it hasn't happened.
Yes. And that's literally it.
We don't know what the future holds.
Sony's Spider-Man universe. It's not Marvel. That's
Sony. Why I was talking. But
Spider-Man.
I will say a lot of people are major Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, and that was Sony Spider-Man.
Oh, I know, but I'm only a Tobey Spider-Man girly.
Sure.
I'm not on with the Tom Holland.
Toby. Justice
Team
for Toby.
Team Toby.
Toby, man.
I came out on Spider-Man. Okay.
I loved
Madam Web came out on Valentine's Day, as if people thought like that's a great movie for couples to see on their dates. Like, ugh. What in the world? What is that? Oh my God. 14% on Rotten Tomatoes. But, you know, everyone's got to make
14%.
Their
money. What about the audience rating?
I don't know. I'm not like on Rotten Tomatoes. It was just like on
my stomach.
We'll look into it later. I feel like that's enough. It's enough press for them.
It's gonna be
They're getting enough.
Stop spreading that word.
Yeah, stop spreading the word of web.
Madame.
On that note, thank you for joining us today. Rate and review.
Subscribe.
Only if it's 5 stars. Subscribe on YouTube and follow us on social media. If you listened all the way through, give us a little okay emoji, comment, and
bye.